Well, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you're watching this video. Today, we're going to examine more thoroughly how to avoid causing resistance when we are talking to a prospect or even approaching a prospect. And that can be in any way, whether you're using it through social media or you're texting or you're sending an email or you are meeting them one-on-one or you're dealing with them on the telephone or whatever. FaceTime. Geez, there's so many ways to communicate nowadays. It's crazy, right? But the key here is we want to see, well, how can we avoid causing resistance? Because in yesterday's discussion, we looked at ways in which salespeople cause resistance. Maybe not always, but some of the ways in which salespeople cause resistance. So today we want to look at, well, how can we avoid causing this resistance? All right, well, first off, what we want to look at is, what do prospects care about? And contrary to like all right way of thinking, like what you would think it would be, prospects and customers don't really care about companies and their products. Now, that just seems counterintuitive, right? Because, well, of course they care about products and companies because blah, blah, blah. I mean, we could go on and have this discussion about that. I'll refrain so that I try to keep this video shorter. But that's not really what they care about. What do prospects really care about? Go ahead and answer, because no one's listening. You're just in your own little world over there. Okay, you got an idea? You have your answer? Is that your final answer? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what do prospects really care about? What do customers really care about? They care about themselves. That's it. And the only reason they care about companies and products is in terms of what it's going to do for them, or how it matters to them. Right? So, or how it impacts them. Like, that's the only reason that they care about these other things. I'm sure you've heard it. It's tune into or customers or prospects are always listening to the radio station WIIFM. What's in it for me? It's not like I don't agree with that. I do agree with that, but I refine it a little bit and say they even listen to the station that plays the song Hello, hey, it's all about me. And they listen to that station all day long. Like, they just listen to that song over and over again. It's all about me. It's all about me. And that's what you want to, in a sense, keep playing in your head. Remember, it's all about them. It's all about them. So that's why when you start talking too much about yourself or your products, you've got to go, oh, wait, it's all about them. Am I relating to them? Yesterday, I shared that story of a networker who was just telling me everything and anything I never wanted to know about her company, and and all these people who had used the service and all of this. And just the most hilarious thing was she never stopped once to ask me if I perhaps was truly one of her prospects. And of course, as you found out, I wasn't. I was never going to be one of her prospects. And we have to be okay with that. We have to know that some people just aren't our prospects, and that's all there is to it. Like, we're never going to convert them. The interesting thing, though, is that if we handle ourselves correctly, they could turn into people that refer others to us. Like, they don't need our product, but others do. Okay, so quickly now, I want to show you one of the ways that we cause resistance on the telephone. It's kind of tough to believe this, because you've probably heard, unless you heard it from me differently, you've probably heard most of your sales career that what you do is you take a deep breath and you feel positive. You got to always feel enthusiastic, because you want to show them that you are, and you want to get them to feel enthusiastic about you and your products. But actually, all that enthusiasm causes some resistance on the telephone. Salespeople show this when they call you up and they say, "Hi, it's Tammy Stanley. Did I catch you at a good time?" Like, when you hear that, you just know right away that they're going to try to show you something because didn't I sound a little bit too happy? I mean, why would I be that happy unless you're just my very best friend? Right? But if I'm not, then that sounds suspicious. And of course, it's a good time for me to call you up if I'm looking for a sale. But if I call you and I'm a salesperson, am I calling you at a good time? No, because you never sit around and look at your telephone and wait for salespeople to call you. No, you never do that. And no one ever does that. Every once in a while, maybe. But it's very, very uncommon that you're going to sit around or anybody's going to be sitting around waiting for you as a salesperson to call them. So it really isn't a good time for them to take your call because they weren't expecting it and they didn't even want it necessarily. Now, we can make them be happy that they took the call, but we won't make our prospects and our customers feel happy that they took the call. We'll cause them to resist us if we act like they were expecting our call or that they should be so happy to hear from us, this jolly little salesperson. It's just the way I sound kind of negative about the whole process, but it's really like what happens. And it's investigating these situations that helps direct sellers and all salespeople for that matter begin to understand why those sales conversations don't always go the way they were expecting. And it also helps you to begin to understand why you look for any media except the telephone to communicate with your prospects. You can end this really quickly. And the results that we have from people that have used this, it's insane. I have so many positive results from it that I would start sounding like one of those salespeople who goes on and on and on if I began sharing them with you. But and I'm likely to do that because I love talking about myself and sharing my stories, like any salesperson, right? But what happens is if you just switch that around, if you know that your prospects are always thinking about themselves and customers are thinking about themselves, what you can do is turn it around. And when you pick up the phone and you reach out to your prospects and customers, you can say in a calm voice, "Hi, this is Tammy Stanley. Did I catch you at a bad time?" Now, I know you've heard, oh no, you don't ever want to use the word bad because then they think you're bad, or I don't know, there's all that silly stuff out there as if people don't have brains. No, and they could just be completely manipulated. No, it's that when you say, did I catch you at a bad time? You actually totally resonate with your prospect and your customer. You show them that you're in their world, that now perhaps they were busy and it wasn't a good time for them to take your call. Because you resonate so much with them and their agenda, because you're showing them that you understand them, then what happens is they drop their resistance and they say, no, it's a great time. What can I do for you? Now you might be thinking, oh yeah, right, Tamster, I'm sure that's what happens. No, it's not going to always happen that way, but it is truly going to shock you how often they say precisely that. So here's the game changer in sales. It's to remember what I just call it the most important rule of prospecting. And it's this, that prospects don't care about you or your company. And they don't buy from you when they understand you or your company or your products. They buy from you when they feel like you understand them. There you go. Most important rule of prospecting. So how can you show your prospects that you understand them? That's what I'd love for you to share in the post today. What are some of the ways, or just be thinking about this all week, how can I show my prospects and my customers that I really care about them? What are some of the things that you could be doing? Maybe even some new steps that you might be taking that could could really communicate that to your customers. Okay, that's it for today, and we'll see you soon.